Good morning. This is Julia, Kayleigh, Jaslyn, and Josie. Ask any young person what their favorite season is. Most often than not, they'll say summer. When asked why, answers vary from good weather to school is out, but most importantly, vacations. Vacations are a staple in an American summer. But take a shy girl who's only met her boyfriend's family a couple of times and put her in a large cabin with all of them, 20 of them to be exact, for an entire week. It was stressful enough being able to try to fit in and be respectful and everything, but it ended up being one of the best vacations I've ever had. At the end of the speech, you'll all know about my first vacation with Cooper and his parents and the rest of his family to McArdle's Resort on Lake Winnie in Minnesota. It was an experience I'll never forget, and another one I hope to have soon. Our trip consisted of many twists and turns, including a very long road trip, several mishaps, and the perfect ending to a perfect week. Now let's go back to July 2022. 4 a.m. is not a good way for a teenage girl, a sleep-deprived teenage girl, to start off a 9-hour road trip. But for Rob Helms, Cooper's dad, it was the perfect time to wake up the house and get the car packed. An extensive list was given with 3 major things that needed to be done. Number 1, clothes needed to be packed and in the car pronto. Number 2, everyone had to be ready with their bags in the car ready to go. And number 3, everyone had to be there, cars running at exactly 5 a.m. so we could get rolling. Now Rob's a man who likes to get things done, and when things don't get done, he gets angry. This entire ordeal consisted of a bunch of controlled chaos, which included yelling, running, and an entire assembly line of bags being thrown person to person until they reached the trunk of the car. It seems like a lot of work for a lot of people, and it was for me. I was completely lost. But for the Helms family, we were all ready to go by 6 o'clock. Now this is a really long road trip. It was me, Cooper, his cousin Toby, his brother Zach, and Zach's girlfriend Meg all squeezed into Zach's truck. Of course, I was in the middle next to someone I've barely ever had a conversation to, and it was really awkward. By the first hour, we were all sick of each other. Zach and Cooper fought over which music to play until my phone accidentally connected to the Bluetooth, and then it was Skinnerd and Garth from then on. Cooper has a habit of taking up as much space as possible, and I ended up being a pillow for Cooper and Toby as well. And that was the last straw. The next rest stop, Cooper was in the middle. When we hit Minnesota, we ended up meeting his Aunt Cha-Cha and Uncle Mike in their hometown only 2 hours away from our destination, and they ended up joining our caravan. Even though it was a long trip, everyone was finally excited to be there and to get the party started. But no one could have predicted the amount of mishaps that would have happened within the first day. We lost the cooler, which had all of our packed meals in for the entire week, which resulted in an hour's search of more yelling and more running around trying to find it. We ended up finding it in the back of the truck with a bunch of backpacks, which resulted in more yelling from Rob about how it got there in the first place. Later that day, we ended up losing the key to the jet ski, which resulted in even more yelling by Rob. We never even actually found that key, even though we looked under the dock, in the boat, and everywhere, but we did find the spare in someone's jacket. Now, there were a lot of stressful times, but there were a lot of fun times too. 4th of July night, everyone brought out the booze and got a little tipsy. Me, Cooper, and the rest of the kids were the only sober ones. Toby ended up getting really sick, cussed everyone out for cheating on a game that we played, and puked everywhere. Me, Cooper, Zach, and Meg ended up having to clean up after him, get new bed sheets, and the boys put him in the shower to clean up. He slept till 3 the next day. One night, I was brushing my teeth getting ready for bed with the door unlocked because I was just brushing my teeth, and I hear, "Hey Ricky, give him the heater," from the movie, you know? And his uncle walks in, lets out a string of profanities, apologizes, and shuts the door, leaving me staring at the back of the door with toothpaste running down my chin, wondering what just happened. My nickname is now Ricky to the rest of the family. After more days of boating, swimming, and sunbathing, it was finally our last day, but that included a bunch of games and a lot of stories on the boat. We went tubing, which is the first time I've gone since my uncle died a couple years ago. We would always go during the 4th of July. I ended up staying on the longest and was crowned the tubing champion, obviously. We also played cornhole and Polish horseshoes, in which I hit Cooper several times with a frisbee and a beanbag. On accident, I swear. I won those games too. We went fishing, in which Cooper hooked me 3 times for revenge. I won that fishing trip with all the fish you can count. I was given an ice cream cone as my trophy, and me and Cooper ended up sitting on the swinging bench, looking out onto the lake, watching the sunset for the rest of the night. I was sad to see the best week of my life end, but I was happy to finally be a part of that family. Our trip had a lot of twists and turns, which included a very long road trip, several mishaps, and the perfect ending to the perfect week. It was nerve-wracking at first, trying to fit in and trying to be respectful and doing everything I could to just be included. But now I know his family better than ever, and we're closer than ever too, and that's something I will always cherish, especially now being officially part of the family. And I can rest easy knowing that yelling is just a way of them saying they care. It's been almost 2 years since me and Cooper first started dating, and I have a trip planned with his family to New York this summer. I'm excited to see what New York has in store for us because me and Cooper will be officially spending our 2 years together there. And I'm excited to see what other adventures are waiting for us, even if that includes losing a cooler or cleaning up after certain events. I've learned to just go with the flow, trust his family, and know that Ricky is always loved.